Tough in Spirit is a program designed by the chaplains of the 173rd to build spiritual resiliency in paratroopers.
A little bit closer to me. This way.
You have the carabiner? Yeah, I'll sign this.
Everybody good?
We believe that unless a paratrooper is forged within, has a moral compass, knows what he or she believes in, unless that's true, then they're ultimately gonna fail themselves, fail their mission, fail their commander. So it's important for us as paratroopers to know that we believe in something, because if we believe in something, we know what we're going to stand for. And if we know what we're going to stand for, then we know that we're going to die for. So at the end of the day, like, we all make the commitment that, yeah, I'm willing to lay down my life for you. This experience forges the grit and the toughness for someone to know, even before they have to forward deploy in combat, drop in to a hot DZ, that like they're willing to make that commitment.
The way is down for sure.
So Tough in Spirit has to include a few things. It has to include some type of strenuous physical component. It's based off of stress inoculation theory. So if we're in a controlled environment that's safe and people know that there's going to be a solid end state, we get them in there, we like increase the pressure, they do something hard, and they cross that threshold of what's comfortable, and they get out of the comfort trap. And they realize, you know what, like I can do hard things. I'm made to be tough, and I feel more alive when I get outside of my comfort zone and press myself. But then we also talk about some of the big questions of life. Like, what are you willing to die for? Who are you responsible for? What makes life worth living, right? These questions help undergird a spiritual framework which prevents paratroopers from falling into what is commonly called the diseases of despair. These diseases of despair, whether it's depression, stress, other types of self-harm, like they can manifest themselves in serious ways that cause harm to an individual, cause harm to the formation, and it really, at the end of the day, affects readiness, which means it affects national security. So in the herd, we have an incredibly high operating tempo, and as paratroopers, like we're drawn to that. But like it also makes people prone to high risk behavior. So working with our brigade surgeon, we developed an algorithm to say like, hey, Tough in Spirit, like it's great, everybody loves it, but like, is it working? How can we measure it? And we have discovered that if a paratrooper has attended a Tough in Spirit experience, it decreases their risk literally by 80%. So this has everything to do with readiness. It has everything to do with keeping our force strong so that when we do get the call to forward deploy, like we're ready to go. We're on deployable status. Like we've got strong hearts and we're ready to go.
I don't like heights. Only pushing.
You said I look like an instructor.
Okay.
This is like way too far. It's like 3 lines. Big lines. I'd rather do that than this.
Good job. That's what I'm talking about, Sergeant Smith.
Shut up.
All right. Oh my gosh, that's not a boy, that's a man. Man meets rock. Rock wins. What? I'm not gonna fight. Of course I'm gonna story.
What was that?
I think he got scared.
I think one of the critical components to this training is that it's not inside of a dark classroom where we're eating donuts and looking at PowerPoint slides. We teach on the trail. We teach in austere environments. We teach in the rain. We teach in the snow. And solely, like we're training like we're fighting. It's been incredible to get paratroopers out into this beautiful location and just really open up a new world to them.
So for the last couple of days, we came into this with an idea that we were going to just be going on a hike that was going to challenge us physically, probably mentally. Then we arrived, found out that we were actually going to be doing stuff more mentally challenging than physically challenging, which included, climbing like rocks on the mountains and rappelling down mountainsides. So it was more mentally challenging than physically. So allowing us to basically bond and do it together, all scared.
Thanks, I know. This is that baldy. I'm still going to
So the good thing is, like, where we are currently in our unit, it's a pretty small organization. So we were all remotely close, but now we've got an opportunity to strengthen it because we can individually focus on each other, as opposed to a platoon of 18. We have 9 of us out here, so it allows us to get a little closer and learn a little bit more about each other, especially in these challenging situations where everyone has a different level of being afraid or whatever the case may be.
I'm here, I stay here.
I know, at least for myself, so it's probably very familiar with everyone else, or similar for everyone else, is that we came out here not knowing what to expect, saw what we had to do, didn't think we could do it, and overcame it. So I think now that's just sent our mental resiliency and agility through the roof to know now that even if it's something we run across that we might be afraid to do, we can always remind ourselves of this event, and then we can just push through whatever we come across at this point. It's been good. I think it gave them a little bit of a break just from our daily, day-to-day scopes of responsibilities, but it gave them, more of a challenge as opposed to our day-to-day operations where we know how to do those, and now we're coming into a brand new situation where now we have to learn and execute. So I think it was pretty good. As far as the readiness goes, I think it's basically the best way. I don't want to say improve the readiness, but it's given us a different idea towards readiness amongst our organization. So I think just from this experience, it's improved it. At least it's given everyone an idea of how important readiness is, and how we need to keep up with readiness and other ways that we can go about it outside of just by the flagpole or doing our day-to-day operations. So yeah. For me, I never really focused on taking my feelings, throwing them in a compartment, and once he started talking to us about that, I know that I felt that, and now I recognize what it is. So I'm sure in the back of some of their minds, they were like, okay, so that's what that is. So now that we know exactly what it is and the stressors it can cause by not basically, by just ignoring them after they're put into that compartment that we, mentally have, I think now it just gives us a greater challenge of, okay, now that I've put it to the side, now it's time to bring it back out and actually address whatever these emotions that have been, compartmentalized for however long, or feelings, or whatever the case may be. It just allows us now to attack it from a different angle as opposed to just letting it be and build up.